We are live from a sold-out Ashford tourney field in the heart of the Reef. 30,000 screaming peasants and highborn lords have packed this meadow to the rafters. We are moments away from the most anticipated trial by the seven in the history of these seven kingdoms. This main event is presented by the Iron Bank of Bravos. The Iron Bank, because when you play the Game of Thrones, you're gonna need a loan. And we are brought to you by Arbor Gold, the official wine of the Ashford tourney. Sip like a king, fight like a Frey. I'm Jonan of House Anek, joined as always by Joe the Rogue. Joe, the energy here is unlike anything we've ever seen. The tension between the Targaryen princess and this hedge knight. What are you looking for in these opening rounds of tonight's event?
Jonan, this is insane. I mean, look at the size of Sir Duncan. He's a physical specimen. He's got that look in his eyes, but he's going up against Aerion Brightflame Targaryen. Aerion is technical, he's fast, he's got that high-level Valyrian footwork, but he's a wild card, man. He's got that I might burn the building down energy.
It's a clash of styles, Joe. Duncan the Tall looking to use that reach advantage, but Aerion has the edge in experience and equipment. Let's check the tail of the tape. Duncan the Tall, 6'11", 250 pounds of pure reach-born muscle. In the other corner, Aerion Brightflame, 5'10", but equipped with 10-carat gold-plated ego and a chip on his shoulder the size of Castle Rock.
Oh, he hit him with the shield! Did you see that? His helmet is sideways! He's hurt, Jonan! He's hurt! He's going down!
He's trying to recover! We are underway in Ashford Meadow! Welcome to the podcast! So, welcome back everybody to the Naissus Fantasy Podcast. As usually, I'm Markus, Vasily, Vikander, and next to me I have
Kellie-Anne Davidsson.
And we've just seen the big fight.
Oh yes, the very big fight.
Yes, the episode In the Name of the Mother. The 5th episode, and there's one more episode in this season. And we looked at IMDb. And this episode sits at a rating of 9.8, which is higher than the previous episode. And also, you can see a clear trend that it goes up for every episode. And I know that during the media press tour for the series, a lot of the actors and the director said that give us some time. And you're gonna enjoy what we've done so far. So we're almost done with the season. So before we go into the details of this episode, what do we think? Was their promise true?
Yes, I believe so.
You believe so, yeah?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I think the season is moving along really good, and I think they've found a unique style for this series. And I really enjoy it so far. And when we go into the specifics of the episode itself, I think it delivered on its promise. I have some points of critique, but I think we can go into that later. So I think what I really enjoyed about the format of the fight is that you get to see it distinctly from Duncan's point of view, and they really capture what a fight is like. Now, I've never been in a real knight fight to the death, but I have practiced martial arts and had a short stint in amateur MMA. So I could relate to the feeling when you walk into the octagon and you know that we're going to do our utmost to deliver damage to each other.
Yeah.
And the world narrows down. Even though you have an audience, on the amateur stage it's mostly just your friend and family and your teammates in the gym, and the opponents, friends and family and their teammates. But they all disappear for you. You only see your opponent. Everything moves really slowly, even though it's like 3 rounds, 5 minutes each. It feels like an eternity. And even though the damage on Duncan is really brutal, I can relate to what his face looked like after one fight. I've had one of those occasions, and you don't feel it then and there. You have so much adrenaline in your body. So it really comes afterwards, which they also showcased when they take Duncan back and Baelor Breakspear enters, and that initially they're pretty stressed. They still have the adrenaline, and as the adrenaline is removed from their body, they start feeling the pain, and they're trying to put words to what am I feeling. Duncan says, well, in 1 minute I feel drunk, and the next it feels like I'm dying. Yeah. Baelor says, my fingers feel like wood. I can't remove my helmet. Can you help me? Yeah. So they really captured that. And I think it's even worse when you're trying to kill each other with weapons. And I also have a good friend that I hope will get as a guest in the future, who has actually practiced medieval MMA. It has a special name, so sorry if I'm mispronouncing what it's called, but it's basically MMA with armor and weapons.
Yeah, okay.
Where you attack each other. You can see it on YouTube, and he has competed on a European level for Team Serbia.
Okay.
So he's really good at it. So the fight, what was it like for you to see the fight, and what did you feel?
Well, I felt to see Duncan fight like that, since I've never been in a fight or practiced any sort of martial arts. I did have a thought though when the prince said, "I yield." Do you recognize what Duncan heard? He almost didn't hear anything. It was very far off, all the words and sounds. Do you recognize that when you were in the MMA?
Yeah, when you're banged up like he is, everything gets distorted. I think my coach usually did, because in between rounds you sit down, you get some ice on your back, and if you're bleeding, they try to stitch you up. And you have a small window for your coach to help you.
Yeah.
And all coaches do it differently. Some scream at you, some talk slowly, like everybody have their thing. My coach gave me a fat bitch slap to pull me in, and then kept it short and clear.
Okay.
Because he knew, like, I have a small window where he actually hears what I'm saying and is taking it in.
Yeah.
And usually the first thing I would do is complain, like, I think my knee is dislocated, I don't know if I can stand, and he would just cut me off and say, "You're fine, no problem, you go in, you do this, you do that, kill the fucker, in with you."
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, to just clear my head of those thoughts, like, okay, now go in, try to win this. But also, Dunk gets knocked down several times, and it takes a lot of spirit to stand back up again. Boxing is even worse than MMA, because then you have like the 10-second count.
Yeah.
So someone has just knocked you over, everything is spinning, and you have 10 seconds to stand up and continue fighting. In MMA, if you go down, usually your opponent will fly on top of you and keep pounding your face. So you have to get up even quicker.
Okay, yeah.
I think every aspect of the fight felt very true and real. And even though I can only imagine what it's like being a knight fighting another knight with a sword and shield, I also felt that all those things were very believable.
Yeah.
And that brings me to one of my critiques, which is, I know they have a time limit on episodes, approximately half an hour, and I think they dedicated too much time to the flashback.
Yeah.
I think it dragged a little bit too much. I understand what they wanted to accomplish with it, for us to feel for Duncan, understand his what he's been through in his life. But I think they could have, split that segment. You could have what was most important for this episode in this episode, and then you can have another flashback in the next episode.
Yeah.
Because, after all, it's called the fight of seven. 7 champions against 7 champions. And I would have wanted to see, for example, Lionel Baratheon fighting, more focus.
Yeah.
I would have wanted to see the Squire fighting his cousin.
Oh, yeah.
I would have wanted to see Baelor fighting Maekar and the Kingsguard. Now all those things happen in the behind. And I understand, as the director said, we wanted to keep it in Duncan's point of view. And since Duncan is in a fight, in life and death, he's not seeing anything else that's going on.
No.
Because he's focused on the man trying to kill him right now. You can't focus on what are those 2 people doing in that corner, what are those 3 people doing in the other corner. You're completely locked in on your opponent. So I understand it stylistically, but still, I wanted to see the other guys fighting. And there's also where you have like the problem between book reading and just seeing the show, because the people that has read the books and know all the lore in Westeros, they know that Lionel Baratheon is one of the greatest warriors of his time. But if you've only seen the show, you have no idea that he is one of the greatest fighters in Westeros, because you've only seen him drink, sing, and be a party boy.
Yeah.
And talking big. You haven't actually seen him do anything. And the only thing you clearly get to see is his horse getting killed by a lance and him falling off the horse. And then a split second as he rushes in and pushes Maekar back with the help of, I think it was Baelor, to make sure that no one intervenes against Duncan as he's fighting Brightflame.
Yeah.
So you kind of understand, in the chaos of everything, that the other knights are trying to protect Dunk against the other champions so that it becomes a 1 versus 1 against Brightflame.
Yeah.
And how did you feel about that aspect?
leading up to this particular episode, I wanted to see all of them fighting. So I was also a bit disappointed when you only got to see it from Duncan's point of view. But I did like to see the point of view from the helmet, to actually almost feel what Duncan felt, because he almost can't see shit out of that thing. And I felt claustrophobic just watching that on the TV. I cannot imagine how he must have felt in that time, to have like a tunnel vision and barely seeing anything but straight forward. And you're all armored up, horses running around, people screaming, the audience is screaming and cheering on, and then you have the bright flame prince just smashing and stabbing and hurting him. And I was frustrated and I couldn't sit still when I saw the bright flame just almost like gutting him. With the sword.
I also think that one detail they really got in was that Duncan isn't a trained knight. He doesn't know actually how you fight against an opponent in plate armor. So when he gets top control, when he's sitting on top of Bright Flame and controlling him against the ground, what a trained knight would have done is try to remove the opponent's helmet. So that you can kill him. So the first thing they would do is try to rip off the helmet, draw their dagger and press it into the neck of the opponent. You can even try to do that when he has the helmet on, but a good knightly armor has neck protection so that it is hard to push a blade through. So usually you would try to rip off the helmet. He goes for the shield, which is also correct, but he smashes the shield wholly on his enemy instead of using the sharp point of the shield and press that against his throat, which would basically cut off his head. So it was those like small cues that he's just going on instinct. He has no training to lean on. And that also brings me back to martial art. When I first started martial arts and you're in a fight, you're just swinging because you don't know what to do. You're scared, there's adrenaline, you go completely on reflex. And that's the reason why you drill the same moves over and over again so they become a reflex. You throw the same punch like 100,000 times so that when you're in that stressed moment, your brain automatically goes for that punch. You do it without thinking, which is like something that splits between, an amateur and a professional fighter. And in the end, it's the same thing with a knight. It's the same thing if you're a trained soldier in an army. It's a stressful situation. It needs to be like in the back of your head, like the enemy is shooting at me. How do I handle my rifle? How am I supposed to move? What am I supposed to do? Because knights were warriors. Today with our modern technology, we use firearms, we have grenades, rocket launchers, tanks, we have all these different tools. So a modern soldier isn't trained in sword and shield, but he can be in a close quarter situation where he needs to be able to use a bayonet or a knife. So there's still some of that close combat and knowing when to okay, now you're in a situation where you shouldn't use your assault rifle, you should draw your knife or you should use your handgun. Same with the knights. That's why they have a dagger and a sword. Because when you're on top of the opponent, sword is too tall, you need to draw your dagger. It's easier to use in that close quarter situation. And Bright Flame, he's fighting with a mace and trying to punch in the helmet on the opponent, which was also like a detail that showed the quality of Duncan's helmet. And the smith who made his armor, it was true, he's a good smith, but because that helmet never buckled. It completely protected him from all that damage. A bad helmet would have been completely smashed in, which brings us to the funny but tragic thing that you also had the crown prince of the realm, Baelor Breakspear. He should have the finest armor of the realm. They're the richest family. But he dies because his helmet was buckled in on the back. From one clean mace hit. So, if it was Baelor versus Bright Flame, and Bright Flame landed those hits on Baelor,
he would have died.
He would have died.
Instantly.
His helmet was more ceremonial than functional.
And the saddest part is his own brother
Killed him by accident, But he also had those cues that sort of show that Maekar cares about his family, because he tries to rush in to save his son. You hear him screaming, "My boy!
My boy! My boy!"
And then Lionel and I think Baelor pushed him back, like, "No, you're not coming for your son's rescue."
Yeah.
So, for being a fight where everything's very fast-paced, there was a lot of these small details that told you a lot.
Yeah.
So that's a natural segue to the death of the Crown Prince. What did you feel when Baylor removed his helmet and we saw back of his head?
Oh, I was so sad when I realized, oh no, he's going to die.
Yeah.
Because he's like Duncan's protector.
Yeah.
Up until now, he showed that he's noble and he actually cares.
Yeah, he's sort of the first prince we have seen in Game of Thrones who actually asks himself the question, what does it mean to be prince? What does it mean to be a king? Who takes the oath of a king seriously, that I need to be like, protect the realm, to be good for my people. He would have been a tremendous king in Westeros.
Yeah. And to see how Duncan reacted to his death, it was heartbreaking.
Yeah, because Duncan really looked up to Baelor.
Yeah.
And they had fought side by side, and he swore fealty for Baelor, and Baelor said, I'm gonna need good men like you. The realm needs good men like you.
And
he
I
sort
am
of
your
accepted
man.
that, you're my knight. I accept your fealty.
Yeah, and then he died.
And he dies in front of him. Which also means who succeeds him in the line of succession, and will that person accept Duncan as his knight? And does Duncan even want to be that? I'm a bit unsure about the line of succession, but I think that it is Maekar that becomes the new crown prince, or it will be Baelor's son.
Yeah.
Because he has a son who we have seen in a previous episode, and it was the son's armor that his father Baelor borrowed to participate in the fight. It was the exact same armor.
Yeah.
Because he never came to actually participate in the tourney, so he didn't bring his own armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next episode.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one, actually.
Yeah.
Because I was actually so disappointed when we saw Duncan crying, and then it cut to the after text.
Yeah, they wanted to leave us,
Yeah, with the cliffhanger again.
It's what you call in literature a chapter turner.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I have to read the next chapter and see what happens next. It's a real page turner.
Yeah, but we have to wait.
Yeah, 1 week, and then after that, probably a year until we get the next season.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be so frustrating.
Yeah. Yes, I have nothing more to say about the fight specifically, so let's talk a bit about the flashback part of the episode.
You mean the boring part?
Yeah, in comparison to the fight, I think the thing I enjoyed most was seeing how Duncan met the knight Pennytree, or what was his name again? Something like that.
Yeah, Pennytree.
We'll call him Pennytree.
Yeah.
I feel like it's wrong, but something like Sir Arlen was his first name, so let's call him Sir Arlen. Sir Arlen rushing out drunk as shit, puking.
Yeah.
But he still wins against 2 city guards, drunk as shit with his sword.
Yeah, and
which
killed
shows
both
he
of
was
them.
actually a good fighter.
Yeah, he was.
He was that shit-faced.
Shit-faced.
Fighting 2 sober city guards, but he still managed to kill both of them.
Yeah, but the sad thing about the flashback as well was you got to know Duncan a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like he was longing for his mother, that if she's not dead, she might come back for me.
Yeah.
But we never heard anything about his father.
Yeah.
So for me, I think he does not know who his father is, only his mother.
Yeah. So that was how we met Sir Arlen of Pennytree. But also some information we get is that when that flashback plays out, it's directly after the Blackfire Rebellion, and that is also an event that you will know if you have watched other shows, read the books. It was a pretty big rebellion in the Game of Thrones world, which now is a bit like, for you who hasn't read anything, it doesn't say you anything.
No.
That, Daemon Blackfire is dead. I don't need that letter. That's just a random name for you.
Yeah.
There are rumors that there's going to be more information about the Blackfire Rebellion in the next season, and that Henry Cavill has been cast to play Daemon Blackfire.
Ooh.
And the Blackfire Rebellion basically was that the previous king had a lot of bastards, and on his deathbed he legitimized them.
Oh, okay.
So Daemon Blackfire, the oldest of the Blackfire sons, the oldest bastard,
Yeah.
took the name Blackfire because he was given the family sword named Blackfire, which you've seen in House of the Dragon. So he took that as his family name.
Okay, yeah, that one.
And their coat of arms is a reversed version of the Targaryen coat of arms. So instead of a red dragon on black, it's a black dragon on red. So they're a cadet branch of House Targaryen that was originally bastards.
Okay.
And a war for the throne ignited, and the Blackfires lost. So Baelor and Maekar fought in that war to protect their father's claim on the throne.
Okay.
A lot of Blackfires died, including Daemon Blackfire, but not all Blackfires died. So the biggest loyalists of the Blackfires escaped to Essos across the sea and formed the Golden Company, a mercenary army, with the goal to one day install a Blackfire on the throne.
Of course.
So when you get to Game of Thrones, you're gonna see the Blackfires return as a problem in Westeros.
Okay.
So that was the first Blackfire rebellion, and they have several Blackfire rebellions throughout the history of Westeros. Hage, maybe you can look up how many Blackfire rebellions there were in total, because I can't remember that off the tip of my head right now.
Okay. That sounds interesting.
So meanwhile, what did you think about the girl who was Duncan's friend and her death?
It also reflects a bit on, I think, Duncan's personality, because what you can understand from the flashback is that she was very, very close to him, and he loved her. And I think he felt lost in the world without her. No one to guide him or to be by his side through everything, like through all the life events. So for him to see her die in that brutal way with her throat cut by the city guard, I think that really took a toll on Duncan.
Yeah, one of many traumatic experiences that formed him.
Yeah.
And that also brings back to the fight, because when he starts winning against Brightflame is sort of when he stops being Sir Duncan the Tall and becomes Duncan of Fleabottom.
Yeah.
When he's back to that.
Fight for his life.
Yeah, fight for his life.
Just punch him until he dies.
Force.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna lose this, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when it all switches.
Yes.
And now we have the information here. There was 5 Blackfire rebellions, and the first one of them was year 196 after Aegon's conquest, and the last one was year 260 after Aegon's conquest.
Okay.
So you can see that it was a common thing for the Blackfires to try reclaim the throne of Westeros, and you have had many of these, succession wars in reality as well. One I think about, which is also an HBO TV show, is when Willem the Conqueror took the throne in England.
Yeah.
And before he became known as Willem the Conqueror, he was known as Willem the Bastard, Duke of Normandy.
Yes.
And the inspiration for the character Aegon Targaryen, known as Aegon the Conqueror, who founded the Iron Throne, was Willem the Conqueror, who came across the sea and took the throne.
Makes sense.
From the Goodwins.
Yeah, makes sense.
And before Aegon landed in England, the Goodwins had already fought off the Norwegians, who also tried to claim the British throne.
Yeah.
Or English throne. Britain wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, George takes a lot of inspiration from real European history, mostly focusing on the British Isles, but he has done a great job taking that inspiration and turning it into his own world. But I think it's also those things that make the world feel grounded and real, and easier to live in than a completely fantastical world like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the consequences in the next episode. So what do you think is going to happen in the next episode?
Ooh, that's a tricky question. I hope that Duncan becomes one of the big knights in the Kingsguard.
Yeah? It's going to be a Kingsguard?
Yeah, I hope it's going to be a Kingsguard, and I hope we're going to see much more of Egg, my favorite character.
Yeah.
And I want to see how he reacted to everything as well and how he feels about it.
Yeah, I have a hard time seeing that he's going to become a member of the Kingsguard in the next episode, but perhaps down the line. I think the immediate aftermath of this is we're going to see like who takes Baelor Breakspear's place as crown prince. Does that person want Dunk to serve as his knight? I think if it is Maekar, the answer is going to be no.
Yeah, hard no.
Hard no. My brother died because of you. My son became embarrassed in front of the lords of Ashford because of you. I think he's going to blame. He's going to put all the blame on Duncan for this travesty.
Yeah.
He's not going to blame his own son.
Whose fault it actually is.
Yeah, and it's also going to be interesting to see how does Brightflame handle this, because yielding in front of the Knights of the Realm and the Lords and Ladies is a huge embarrassment for him.
Yeah.
And he's a guy with a big ego.
Yeah. And when I first heard him to say, I yield, my first thought was, you coward.
Yeah.
You wanted this and now you back out just before Duncan had a chance to kill you.
And
Too bad.
That also shows, that Duncan is an honorable knight. He respects the yielding, because then and there nobody can hear him yield. So he could have killed him and gotten away with it. And a more pragmatic knight or lord in that situation would just have killed him.
Yeah.
And think, hey, you're gonna be a future threat to me. I ain't gonna spare you. I'm killing you.
Yeah, I would have done that.
Because I can get away with it, because nobody heard you yielding. And I'm never gonna admit that you yielded.
No.
And Brightflame, if you put it on the other side, if it was Dunk on the ground and Brightflame ready for the killing blow, Brightflame would not have accepted that Duncan yields. He would have killed him.
Oh, yeah.
Without an hesitation.
I think if it was the other way around, he would have said, I don't care, and then killed him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's everything I have on my heart for this episode. So we're looking forward to see the conclusion of season 1. And after that, we're going to talk some House of the Dragon, because you've seen season 1 and 2 of House of the Dragon. And this summer, we will get season 3 of House of the Dragon.
Ooh, this summer.
Yes, and then finally the war between Team Green and Team Black will kick off. So, are you Team Black or Team Green?
I am Team Black.
Yes, long live Queen Rhaenyra.
Yes, my favorite queen.
So thanks everyone for listening this time, and see you next week.
Thank you.